Hi everybody and welcome to this edition of Connersville Speaks. Schools resume in Connersville and Fayette County in 20 days. With school beginning, can fall sports be far behind? The answer is no. That's tonight, our topic on Connersville Speaks. We have people from Connersville High School that are going to talk us about the upcoming fall sports program. We welcome Athletic Director Brent Duncan. Brent.
Thank you, Fran. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Volleyball coach Penny Piper, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Welcome, Penny.
Thank you.
Mike Bottomley, who is soccer coach at
Yes.
CHS. Mike, thanks. Jack Reed, the student athlete. He plays soccer, and Livy McMillan is a student athlete, and she plays volleyball. Penny, your first visit. These other guys have been here before, so we'll start with you.
All right.
Volleyball coach, how long at CHS?
I think this is my 13th year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Over that year, how many games? Are they events or games or contests? What is it in volleyball?
They've changed their matches.
Matches,
yeah,
okay.
and then the games that
Okay.
we play in between there are sets. So, yeah.
And how many on the season?
We play 31. 31 matches.
During the regular
Yes.
season?
Yep.
And then that follows the
Yep.
postseason games and
Right.
everything.
Right. Yep.
What's been your best season? Can you recall one?
I think back when I first started, late 90s, before class sports even,
Okay.
we were sectional champs 4 years in a row, so that was a highlight of my career. And I took about 10 years off to be home with my own children, came back into coaching at that time as class sports. We've had lots of ups and downs throughout each year. Every year is a challenge, and I think you can't always measure success by wins and losses. I mean, we've always been successful in some way or form.
What's the outlook for this year?
I think more of the same. We were 13 and 19 last year. Again, that doesn't sound great, but I could see the improvement that the girls made from beginning to end,
Good.
and that's success in our minds as well. We placed fourth in our Olympic conference, or I'm sorry, EIAC conference. So the first year to place fourth, I thought that was about where we needed to be. We just lack height. So playing some of those bigger teams, we'll battle back and forth with any team that we play. But in the end, those bigger teams, the height, it's going to catch up with us a little bit.
Where do you play your matches?
At the CHS gym.
Okay, and what's the starting time usually?
JV starts 5:30. Varsity will start about an hour after that.
How many members on your squad?
We have 22 girls, both JV and varsity.
Is that a limit set by the HSAA or?
No.
No limit?
No,
Okay.
no. You're not probably going to carry more than 12 girls per team anyway. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Looking at the coming season, you've lost quite a few, or some players through graduation.
Sure.
So some holes to fill, I'm sure.
Right. We lost 4 seniors from last year's squad. There'll be big shoes to fill. We returned 3 seniors this year, Olivia being one of them. Olivia will be a middle hitter, front row player. Her athletic ability will allow her to play back row as well, and her defensive skills. Haley Poe is another senior. She'll be doing our setting. She'll be doing some of the setting with Madison Lee as well. And then Destiny Rue, who is a defensive specialist, are 3 seniors. We return 3 juniors that have been playing varsity since they were freshmen. Brittany Gabbard will play all around. Madison, I said, is a setter. She also will do some hitting for us. And we have Samantha Frank, who's another defensive specialist. So, we've got 6 solid kids with a lot of experience coming back.
Good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Mike, what about soccer? I think like volleyball, August 4th is the organized practice beginning set by the HSAA. What have you been doing to prepare before that?
We pretty much have the same plan each year since I've been here for the past 6 years. This year we added, we start in February indoor soccer. This year we added a indoor soccer league after the open gym, we call it. Then when it gets a little warm, we go outside for once a week. Right now we're going twice a week for open field, and we always try to attend one team camp, which we just came from Anderson University last weekend for a 3-day team camp.
Okay.
And we try to get into 2 or 3 weekend tournaments. We played 2 games a couple weeks ago in Batesville, and we headed to Franklin County this weekend to get some games in.
How does this differ from organized practice that the IJA says can't start until August the 4th?
The open field?
Yes, I mean,
Anybody
okay.
can come out and play.
Okay.
We have past players playing, current players. They do a lot of just scrimmage games.
Okay. How many members on your team will there be?
We try to keep 30 kids, 15 on JV, 15 on varsity each
And
year.
how many play at one time?
It's 11.
Okay. Okay. What's your outlook for this year?
Last year we finished 16-4 sectional champs. We had a great year. We lost 6 very good seniors. We scored over 100 goals, and 50 of them was scored by last year's seniors. But we bring back 10 letters winners from last year. So we expect we set the same goals each year: win 10 games, sectionals, and conference. So we look to win 10 games again. We've had a really good summer. These guys are working hard. They know they lost a lot of talent, a lot of scoring, and so it's been a fun summer so far.
Looking at it, what's your strengths look like? What's your weaknesses look like?
We're still trying to figure that all out.
Okay.
Like I said, we've had a few scrimmage games. We haven't had our full team at any of them yet. We was spoiled last couple of years in scoring goals. It is hard to score goals.
Sure.
So I think if we get 2 or 3 goals a game, we should be fine. Our defense, we returned 4 seniors, and it's our keeper. He only allowed under 1 goal a game last year. Our defensive line is very athletic. They're young. They just need to play together. So we feel like if we can score 2 or 3 goals a game, we should be fine.
Good. So when's your first match or meet? Whatever.
We'll play, I think, mid-August against Newcastle. We always open up against Newcastle.
Brent, you're athletic director. You're in charge of all the sports at CHS. Adam Kelly, the football coach, couldn't be with us this evening. Let's talk a little bit about football. They've had some conditioning throughout the summer, I believe. What's the outlook for CHS?
Well, I think we're optimistic. We didn't have the best year last year. We were competitive. We just sort of bounced or 2 away in all of our games. But I think the big key for us is that our young linemen that were sophomores last year are now juniors. Coaches in the weight room all the time. They just came back from trying a couple weeks ago. They were at the Colts complex last weekend, and actually they're getting ready to go to trying this coming weekend, I believe. So, they're in there, and it's kind of been an odd summer because our weight room's been closed all summer because of the construction at the high school, and they've been lifting in a makeshift gym in behind the new car wash on Park Avenue, and then using the old soccer field, in fact, for conditioning down at Maplewood. So it's been a little different, but we return our quarterback, and Colton Gonzalez is back at running back.
Yes.
And our receivers are back, and the majority of we have quite a few back, so we're looking forward to hopefully another winning season.
Okay, 12 seniors, I believe, graduated.
Yeah, and then in football, if you can, as an ex-football coach, also you always want to try to get 12 to 15 kids out of your senior class. If you can get 12 to 15 from every class, you're going to have 45 to 50 players in the top 3 grades, and so hopefully every year we're going to lose anywhere from 12 to 20 kids.
Well, I think you had like some 70 guys coming out for football. Of course, that includes reserve and freshmen.
Yeah, and I think the top number that I've ever been since I was here was probably in the early 90s when I got in here, and we used to have close to 100 when Coach Racky was here consistently, and so hopefully we'll get those numbers built back up. And football is one of those sports where you just have to have numbers because you have 22 kids. It'd be nice if you had 22 kids who could play one position and then find a sub for each of them, but that's hard to do sometimes.
When's the season open?
First home football game will be August 22nd here against Richmond.
Okay, good enough.
7:30 start time.
Okay. Olivia, conditioning. How much conditioning do you have to go into to prepare for the volleyball season?
Well, we have been doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this year, but we have scrimmages, and so we play throughout the week as well. I am missing an open gym tonight to be here.
Okay, we appreciate that.
But yeah, we work hard. We work
Sure.
in the gyms as much as we can. We try to get there and try to get the whole team there. It's hard because obviously everyone is busy, but yeah.
With so many matches, do you reach a peak halfway through, or how do you stay in shape for that long a period, that many matches?
Oh goodness, get your sleep at night. That's what I would say. That's about all you can do. You have to eat well, drink a lot of water.
Okay.
That's about all I do.
Okay. All right. How long have you been on the member of the volleyball squad?
I have played since my freshman year.
Oh.
I went to sectionals freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played a couple points maybe. I've been a varsity. I've gotten my letter 3 years. It'll be 3 years after this year.
Is there a volleyball team in middle school and elementaries?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
There's an 8th grade and a 7th grade team at the middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's clubs throughout Indiana. I know there's Munciana, there's Lincoln, there's all different places you can play when you're littler.
Yeah. I know there are attackers, there are blockers, there are setters, there are liberos. Is that how you pronounce that?
Right.
Tell us what each of these people do. What's their job?
I would say the setter is probably the most important person on the team, because she's got to have the mouth. She's got to tell everybody where they're going. She's got to figure out who she needs to set the ball to, how to get everyone working together. The hitter's got to talk to her setter. She's got to be able to keep the ball in the court, be able to figure out when she needs to hit, when she needs to tip. The hitter also has to block, make sure if there's, say, a strong hit coming down right into the net, that's her job to get it, because our back row players aren't going to be quick enough to get there just because it's such a hard hit that's straight down. And then a libero they're in charge of the back row. They're going to figure out what's going on back there, make sure everyone knows where they should be. They're probably the second most important person under the setter. So.
Do you have captains on the team? Or?
We do. Usually
Okay.
it's the seniors that'll go up and be the team captain, so I'll be one of the captains this year, hopefully.
Oh, great. Thanks for all the info. Congratulations on being on the honor roll.
Thank you.
Jack, does this guy in the middle give you a hard time at soccer?
Oh yeah, he gives me a hard time.
What's your position? What you play?
I actually play a striker. This is the first year I've played a forward. In the past years I played midfield, but like Mike said, we lost a lot of seniors, and we've kind of done some switching this year, so we're gonna see how it works.
How long have you been a member of the soccer squad?
I've been a member since my freshman year.
Okay, good. A lot of experience.
Yep.
What do you enjoy most about soccer?
What I enjoy most about soccer is just getting out there with all the guys and stuff, and we just have a really good time together. I've noticed since becoming a part of high school soccer, really just the environment's a lot different, and it's just a really great experience.
Okay, what's your conditioning regimen? How do you keep in shape?
A lot of our conditioning comes from our actual playing, because when we're playing soccer, we're running up and down the field. I mean, so when we have a 2-hour practice, so all we're doing is running for 2 hours. So we don't have a ton of conditioning that's just set aside for conditioning, other than during the season we practice, and we have maybe a 20 minutes at the end of practice that we'll set aside and run, but a lot of it is just our drills and our actual playing.
You play football too, don't you?
Yeah, I kick. Yeah. I'm the
Okay.
kicker.
Okay. Is there any comparison to the teams?
In what way do you mean?
Well, still a lot of running. You need the same type of conditioning. Or?
Oh yeah. I tend to go to a lot of football practices when I can too. So I mean, they do a lot of running and stuff, and I guess football for me is a lot easier than soccer would be, because.
You'll remember Fran. He's a kicker.
Yes.
He's not allowed to tackle nobody. I will get mad if he starts tackling
Okay.
people. So
So watch it, Jack. I mean, be careful. How long does a practice session, typical practice session, last?
About 2 hours. About 2 hours. Yeah.
And how many? What do you call your thing? Events or contests, or what are your things called? Your games?
soccer
Just games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How many games do you play in a season?
12 to 13. Last year we played 20, but we went to regional, so Depends on what the schedule holds each year.
Who are some of the teams you play?
Newcastle started off, like I said. Then our conference teams with East Central, Batesville, Greensburg, Franklin County. Who else is in that?
South Dearborn.
Rushville, South Dearborn, and Lawrenceburg. Then we play some of the, like Rushville, Union County, Oldenburg, a lot of the area schools.
Yeah. What time of your meets start or your games start?
As soon as we get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. As soon as we get out of school, we got to go and get to the fields. Because a lot of the fields we play on, they do not have lights.
Okay.
So we do have to get started so the JV kids get some playing time.
What are some of the positions? Can you talk about your position
Well,
players?
it depends on the formation that we use. This year we are going to switch it up. For the last 5-6 years we've been running a 4-4-2, which is 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 forwards. We've had a talent to do that with Newcomb and Hackelman. Just send them and they can usually beat people. This year we're going to try the 4-3-3. It's more ball possession, passing, and we've been working on it all summer. For the last, that's pretty much all we worked on during camp. It's worked out pretty well. I didn't think we had the talent to have 3 midfielders because the midfield is a very important position in soccer, controls the game, but they've done very well. Like Jack is our forward on the front, and he scored 18 goals last year. We need the same from him this year. So it's been interesting summer with this new formation, but I think it's going to work. And it's a great formation to switch up where it can be a defensive formation by moving 2 kids, or it can be offensive formation by moving the same 2 forward. It's hard to really explain on TV, but it's real flexible, and we're excited to try to learn this season.
When you make a lineup change, what's the determining factor? I mean, does a kid get winded and you take him out because he's run a lot?
A lot of time it was when they're winded,
Okay.
or if they're not doing what they need to be doing, because there are certain positions they need to play, certain zones they need to be in, especially in this new formation. Especially the defense, they have to stay in a straight line, stay in their zones. If they start getting out of position, it opens up lanes, and those are some of the things we have to watch. And as a coaching staff, me and John Reynolds, we've been so used to the 4-4-2, throwing the ball out there and scoring 7-8 goals.
Sure.
So this is going to be a little bit different for us. We have to be a lot more disciplined in our game. And what's been great about these guys, they're a lot different team I've had in the past. They're very coachable. They want to learn this 4-3-3, and they want to do well. And it's been a great summer so far.
Good. So the outlook is
Right.
very good.
Pretty good.
That's great. Penny, in your games events, how many officials are there? What's their job?
The officials, there's 2 officials that are signed by the IHSAA.
Oh, okay.
And then each host school provides 2 line judges, and they've gone to using adults. Normally the kids would do it. The varsity kids would do the line judging for the JV, and then the JV kids would do for the varsity matches. They've upped that now to wanting adults to do that. So we have a few set of parents, adults, that do our line judges for us.
Okay. How long do your events last, time-wise?
We play 3 out of 5. Varsity plays 3 out of 5 matches. JV's 2 out of 3, best out 2 out of 3. JV, usually can take up to, 45 minutes. Varsity, between warm-ups, they get 15-minute warm-ups. And then the matches probably, if you go 3, it's going to go quicker. If you go 5, it could be a pretty long night, an hour plus.
Okay. Okay. Brent, any real changes in any of the sports this year?
Nothing major. They're looking at modifying some jewelry and track, so
What's that mean?
I think they're going to allow them to wear a few things compared to what
Okay.
they used to wear last year. I just saw the headline today when it came across. I haven't read through the article yet, but there's some real changes in baseball and softball that I'm going to have to get some clarification, because when you
Okay.
read it, it's like it didn't make sense. So
Okay.
I got to go call and get a little verification from somebody.
Did the IHSA or the legislature rather pass some rules concerning football? You have to have additional medical people. What am I thinking?
Well, this year every coach that's coaching any kid under the age of 20 has to have concussion testing, and they have to take it online. So all of our high school football coaches plus all of our middle school football coaches, before they can get on the field on August 1st, have to take a little thing online and get the little certificate passed out and print it out and put on file before they can be out on the field.
A lot of times, I know the coaches try to teach the players how to play the game right, but sometimes they tackle maybe the wrong way, and this leads to injuries and things.
Yeah, and the whole video not only goes through concussion testing, but goes through the proper way to put your equipment on and how you should measure your kids, and it goes through I'm watching it now. I'm in the middle of watching to see what it is, and it goes through form tackling and the right way to tackle people. So, and our coaches teach that. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're just trying to get the other person down, and you don't always get the right form by accident. But they're all taught the right way to do it. It's just a matter of whether they apply it when they get out on the field.
You're in charge of selling season tickets, all sports tickets, I guess they're called. Let's talk about that a little bit. Gosh, they're good for all the events, aren't they, year round?
Yeah, you can buy an all-sport ticket. It's good for not only all the high school events. If you come out to the high school office and buy it, it's also good for all the middle school events.
Oh, good.
I actually figured up yesterday when you told me I was going to talk about it a little bit that next year, to the best of my ability, we're going to host about 225 home events. So if you'd actually buy a family pass, which would cost $200, you're going to get to see a lot of action. If you can go to all of them, you're going to get your money's worth. And we have a few Spartan fans who get their money's worth, but our student tickets sell for $40, and that's good for all year. For every event you want to go to, you just show your ticket at the door. Our adult tickets are $60, and then we have a senior citizen for 65 and older, that's $55. And then we do have a family pass. It's based off of 2 adults and 2 students, and if your money goes over that $200, that's for anybody that lives in that household. I'll just use Mr. Myers, for example. They have 4 kids and 2 adults, so their maximum pay would be $200, and then we just give the tickets for the whole family.
Oh, that sounds like a good program.
So if you have a lot of big family, you can stop at $200 and come out and support the Spartans in all the events.
Okay, and how do you obtain a ticket?
Well, you can come to the athletic office Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 4, or the easiest way to do it is if you go to ConnersvilleAthletics.com and click on the Spartan HQ tab, there's a link that you'll be able to print out the all-sport ticket form, and then you can just mail it in.
Okay.
Or bring it in personally, whichever.
Sounds good. Do you sell quite a few?
Yes.
Good.
I can't tell you the exact number
Sure.
because Wendy Sargent, my secretary, she takes care of all that, and
That's
she
good.
doesn't start work again until Monday. So
That's good.
she'll be on top of that as soon as she gets in.
Good. Jack, congratulations to you on being a student athlete and on the honor roll at CHS.
No, thank you.
How do you combine all the sports activities and your studies? How do you sort of allot your time, I guess, for each?
Really, you just have to be motivated, I guess, because sometimes with soccer and football, after soccer I have to run over football and kick for a long time, and sometimes I don't get back home till 8 o'clock, and you really just have to be you just have to set aside a certain time every night to be able to do your studies, and sometimes it gets exhausting, but that's what you got to do.
Sure. Have you ever played goalie in soccer, and is that a tough position? Either you or Mike can answer that, I guess.
I've played goalie before when I was younger. It's rough, so I definitely try not to give goalies a hard time because it's a hard position. But
Mike, have you designated your goalie yet?
Yeah, it'd be Quentin Sullivan. He was our keeper last season. The ball travels a lot faster than what people think. So it is it's to me the most important position on the field. If they can't score, they can't win. So we've been pretty lucky last couple of years. We don't allow very many goals. Like last year, we was 0.85 per game. We're under 1 per game, and we're hoping to be right there again this season.
Does he have a backup if anything should happen to him?
No, that's one thing we are. Well, that's one thing we are working on is some type of backup keeper. We have a pretty good freshman coming in, but he's just not ready for varsity yet.
Yes.
So it will probably be whoever I see on the bench if something happens to Quentin right now.
Just point
so,
to one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, Jack, hopefully it's not you, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Soccer is hitting television quite a bit. Indianapolis has a professional team now. They're on TV, and of course the Cup games have just concluded. This has got to build interest in soccer.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the more soccer, like you said, this year's been better than most. You know, we got our youth programs all the way down to age 4 playing. We got a few hundred kids playing in that. We just started our adult soccer league. We have 9 teams in that, and a lot of them is my ex-players. So it's pretty nice to go down and watch them play. So yeah, it's getting out there, and more people's playing. It has to benefit the sport and has to benefit us.
It's known as football, isn't it? In other countries, only in the U.S. it's called soccer.
Yes.
Do you know why?
No.
Brent, do you know why?
I really do not, unless they just named that because you played with your foot. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to remind everybody we have Connersville Speaks tonight. We're talking about CHS and the fall sports coming up. Our guests tonight are Olivia McMillan, who is a member of the volleyball team at CHS, Jack Reed, who plays soccer coach Mike Bottomley, Penny Pfeiffer, who is volleyball coach, and last but not least, CHS Athletic Director Brent Duncan. Brent, you put out a nice program during the winter sports, or fall football and basketball. How do you get your name listed in that? What's the procedure?
Well, it's similar to the all sports tickets. You can log on to ConnersvilleAthletics.com, and there's a booster club membership for them.
That's what it's called, huh?
Yep, and
Okay.
there's a myriad of different things you can purchase, anywhere from a individual membership at $15 to red corporate sponsorship, which is up to $1,000. Of course, the more higher you go, the more perks you get to go along with it. But we have family memberships and professional memberships and business and corporate, and then a white one. So anywhere from $15 to $1,000, depending on how much you want to contribute.
It's a very nice program. I mean, you have color pictures of the teams in there.
Yeah, we switched printers last year, and they told me they could make the booklets in color, pictures and all, for the same price, or cheaper, actually cheaper than what we were for just the black and white one. So I'll plug C5 Printing a little bit. That's who does our programs, and they've done a great job. And I think this year it'll be better because it's their second year doing them, so they'll have templates already laid out, and they already know some changes that they would like to make, so hopefully it'll get a little bit better.
Now, is there a deadline when you have to get your information?
Yeah, we're taking fall pictures August 9th, and we try to get it in at least 10 days to them, so they would like 2 full weeks, but it doesn't always happen. So around August 9th to August 10th, I will take all the stuff to the printer, and hopefully then by the August 22nd Richmond home game. It's always nice when your second game is your first home game because it gives them an extra week, but they're on a little bit more of a crunch time this year, and I know they've picked up some surrounding schools, so that probably puts them on a little bit little steeper timeline with the number of volumes coming through there.
Well, you play 9 regular season games, but this year it's our turn to have 5 home and 4 away, so that's the reason we open with Richmond. Penny, I know you're working with some really young players, aren't you? Youngsters 8 and 9 years old.
Right, yeah. We try to get them in, just try to keep kids active, and we do that by our Spartan camps, and we had a really good turnout for volleyball with our youth coming out. We had about 12 to 15, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, for that age group, that's pretty good. So we're real pleased with that. Just getting them interested, just keeping them enjoying the game, and then they learn and develop those skills when they get older into the middle school years.
Do you put up a net and everything?
Yep.
Do you?
For the grade school, the elementary leagues, we lower the net, probably maybe 5 feet, 4 or 5 feet. So it's real low for them. We also use a Volley Light, which is just a lighter volleyball, so it doesn't hurt their arms, and so they're not afraid of the ball.
Okay.
We use balloons, we use beach balls. We just try to make a lot of fun for them. Wiffle balls, that they can throw and get the arm action in there. And then we get to our middle school kids where we raise the net to normal height because that's what they'll be playing on during their season, and the regular size volleyball. So.
Who helps you in your volleyball coaching?
Brett Lee is my varsity assistant, my JV coach. He's been with me probably about 9 out of my 13 years. So Kim Shirk, Don Crum, Jackie Buckler take care of our middle school kids.
Sounds like you have a good staff.
Yeah.
Helps you out.
Yep.
That's good. Bring back to you some of the awards at CHS. I know it's a busy time that awards are given out, and tell us about some of the awards, how they, who chooses the winners, and so on.
Well, we'll start with the easy ones. The students get to choose their own or their athletes as far as the number of letters they earn. They can earn a blanket. If they get 6 varsity letters and earn 15 athletic points, they can earn a blanket. If they get 8 varsity letters and 24 athletic points, they can get a Spartan clock. Those are the 2 big ones that they're in control of by what sports they participate in if they're at the varsity level. And then we give an extra mile award. An extra mile award is to seniors only. And those seniors that earn the extra mile award have to participate in at least 2 sports all 4 years that they're a member of the student body at Connersville High School. This past year we had 11, which is about normal, I would think. I think earlier it's been more, but that 3-sport athlete, 2-sport athlete is kind of filtered off a little bit. So, everybody seems to want to specialize. Kind of drives me bananas because I want our athletes playing all of them, but I also get that. And then we have Athlete of the Year. Athlete of the Year award, of course, we send out flyers to all of our Booster Club members and season ticket holders. They get to nominate students for the year. This past year we had 14 students nominated. Then our 22 head coaches vote their number 1 choice to their number 3 choice, and then we invited back the top 3 vote getters from last year, and then from there we picked the male and female athlete of the year.
Okay. It sounds something for them to really strive for.
Yeah, I think the kids who won it this year, Paxton Drew won it for the girls, and Colton Gonzalez won it for the boys. So I think there was a nice article by Grady in the newspaper the other way about Paxton getting it, and she was excited and was surprised. And Paxton swam and played soccer the last 2 years. And
yes.
Of course, Colton's a 3-sport athlete, and he'll be back this coming year. So it'll be interesting to see, because from year to year you just never know who's going to have that stellar year, and it's just based on that 1 year's performance. So 1 year I think Courtney Phillips won it, and she unfortunately had knee surgery, and then kind of filtered her for a little bit for this coming year. So we'll be interested to see where she goes for the next year. So
how many sports are you in charge of?
There's actually 20 sanctioned IHSA sports, and then of course we also have cheerleading and Spartanettes.
And how many athletes are involved? Can you?
Just a little over 300 out of the 1,100 students.
Penny, did you have any volleyball players that have moving on to college this year, and because of their achievements at CHS, they were?
Yeah, we actually do. This year, Megan Robbins, who was our libero last year, she just signed with Manchester College, Northern Indiana. She just is real excited about, that's just a great fit for her. She's real excited about attending Manchester. So she's the only one that's going for volleyball this year.
Okay. Brett, we've had some other students from last year that have moved on to college, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so far I'm getting ready to do number 7 when Matt Hill's mother gets back from North Carolina.
Oh.
But Paxton Drew signed to go to Xavier to swim. Adam Smith signed on with Grace College up around Winona Lake in Indiana. Michaela Gaines is actually going to Spartanburg, South Carolina, to little school to Converse College to run track. And then, of course, Megan's going to Manchester. Kelsey Crawford's going to go to Manchester to run cross country. And Emma Ross and Matt Hill are both going to go to Rose-Hulman to run not only cross country but also track and field. So far 7.
Well, that's great. Soccer. How about soccer, Mike? Have you had any players that have moved on?
The only player we had a few years ago, Brent Levi, played keeper at Union College in Trine. Did pretty well. He's out now, but.
Brent, did the coaches contact these other school colleges, or did they send scouts down? How?
I think it just depends on the sport. A lot of times your coaches kind of got to push your kids, and your kids have got to kind of give you a little bit of interest that they are interested in. You can kind of put feelers out, and they network with each other. They'll see them at summer volleyball or summer camp somewhere at basketball or soccer.
Okay.
Some coach may see him, but it's maybe looking at somebody else and sees one of your kids, and it just takes off sometimes. And sometimes it's just a matter of your coaches going out and recruiting. And of course, some of the smaller schools always are sending you flyers and emails and trying to make contact with kids.
Okay. Mike, I know you also coach wrestling. You've been pretty successful in that. In fact, you won some individual awards. Being a modest guy, I'll ask Brent to tell us about what some of the awards you won individually.
Well, I don't know if I'll get them all. I know he was the coach of the year last year, 2 years ago, wasn't it, Mike?
Yes.
In the state of Indiana.
Wow.
I think he got an award from Ball State.
Yeah, Ball State Alumni Award.
I can't name them
Yeah,
all.
I don't.
They just seemed to be
It
coming
was
in.
it was a good year. That's all I can say. Take him while you can.
Let's talk about wrestling for just a second. What are you expecting this year? Did you lose some pretty good wrestlers?
We lost a lot of good wrestlers.
Okay.
I'm not worried too much about it because of soccer season, but
Yes.
we'll start doing our open mat when school starts back up. We got Colton Gonzalez coming back. Went to state last year, so we expect the same out of him. And Brooke Bunch is back as a senior, and Dylan Shirkey. So we got a nice little core. It's just getting all these other weight classes, especially the bigger ones. So it's going to be an experience this year, getting all those weight classes filled.
Yeah, it sounds as though you have quite a few vacancies to take care of.
Yes, we do.
What about the feeder program? Does middle school have wrestling?
Yeah, they have a 7th, 8th grade wrestling team. There's usually 30 to 40 kids wrestled, and we also have a wrestling club, which is the little ones. So it's just wrestling's hard, and it's a bad time of year with the holidays, with Christmas and New Year's, and it's just a hard sport to get kids to do and to be dedicated to it. So, but we've been successful, and we should be. When it's all said and done, I'm hoping we have a good year.
I'm sure you will. You seem like you're successful every year. So that's real good. When will you be opening? Do you have any idea when your first wrestling meet will be?
It's in November.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually wrestle at Newcastle Invite with like 8 or 9 teams.
And you're still hosting the Classic between the holidays?
Yes, we still host a Classic, and I know that we have some teams drop out, but we've added teams. We think we have a list of people who wants to, come to the tournament.
Oh, that's great. You have guys from all over the state, don't you, Brent?
Yeah, we've had Valparaiso, the Cal up by Fort Wayne. This year, Evansville North is going to come. A couple schools have dropped out. The state also decided to put a team invite in, and 4 of the schools that are in our Spartan Classic have been invited to go to the team invitational. So I'm scrambling to get 4 teams on a year basis, and they all know that. So for this coming year, we've picked up Greensburg, Brownsburg, Zionsville, and then Shenandoah is going to come. Evansville North is coming, and National Trails out of Ohio right now is coming. I'm looking for one more to make the last of 32. So
that's quite a job, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, until I, being the basketball guy that I was, I really hadn't gone to wrestling. But I enjoy going to wrestling. Our kids have been competitive, and if you get 2 good wrestlers out on the mat, it's always a fun match to watch. And if you're a wrestling enthusiast, January 2nd and January 3rd, you can come and watch about 858 wrestling bouts in 2 days. So it's well worth your money.
Do you have all the fall and winter sports schedules complete?
Yeah, I would say
Really?
99% of them is
Okay.
complete. There are always some add-ins, and some schools may change, but right now we're pretty good. But I'll plug my website at the ConnersvilleAthletics.com. You can go to the website, click on fall, winter, or spring sports, pick the team you want, and the schedule should be up. And as it makes changes, it updates itself every night. So if I make a change
Good.
today, by tomorrow it'll be updated
Okay.
on the website. So
Now, the other fall sports than just what we've got represented here, what are they?
well, we have boys and girls cross country. And we have girls golf in the fall, boys tennis in the fall. Of course, we've got volleyball and soccer. We also have girls soccer, and I'm drawing a blank on one, football.
Okay.
So we have 8 of them in the fall.
So it's a busy time.
It's the busiest as far as the number of teams that are competing in the fall, and it's really just kind of a short time frame. Like girls golf will start August 1st, and they'll be done by the middle of September. So everything seems to be compacted in pretty tight. Of course, football drags out till Thanksgiving, and volleyball is the second longest. They go till October. So, but it's good for your kids. I'd encourage anybody out there that's questioning, to be involved in high school, get involved in something. Just don't come and be a student. It makes your 4 years go a lot faster. Makes you feel a part of something instead. For me, if I just come to school and go home, it's like a job. I got to be involved in something. So I think I'm just going to school every day.
What are the academic standards? What their minimum? I know. What are they? Explain those to us.
Well, the IHSA requires that you pass 70% of your classes, which for us we offer 7 classes a day, so they have to pass 5. We at the high school, or in the Fayette County School Corporation, we have the study table rule that if your GPA falls below a 2.0, you have to attend school from 7:25 in the morning to 8:15, 4 days a week, until you get that GPA has to be raised back up over 2 to get out of them. So you'll get 9 weeks to try to do that. If not, you're just back in study table as long as you've passed your 70% of your classes. That's required by the IHSA.
And you watch that? Whose responsibility is that?
Yes, I have to check grades at the end of 9 weeks. So as soon as I get all the team rosters here at the beginning of the year, we'll have to go back and check last year's semester grades for the sophomores through seniors. Freshmen coming in have a clean slate, so whatever happened in middle school is now done. So they basically get one free 9 weeks before any of those academic things start in. Then every 9 weeks you have to certify your grades with the IHSA within an X amount of period after the end of the grading period to verify that all your athletes are still eligible.
You have a big job. Who helps you?
My assistant for the 3rd year will be Shane Russell. He's also taken on the Dean of Students last year, so he gets a lot of time spent with this one. And then this will also be Wendy Sargent. She's our secretary, and this will be her 3rd year as well.
Okay, so and you guys, I think you work during the summer a lot, don't you? You're not. When school shuts down, you don't go home.
No, I think I've taken about 4 or 5 days off this summer. So there's always, and that's just me. It's not everybody, but there's always something that I want to change. And if you go to the high school right now, you'll notice that all the trophy cases are empty because we've finally decided after 40-some years of red shag carpet in the bottom of the trophy case, it's time to change. So we've actually taken out all the trophies, and my wife actually took pictures of each trophy, and our goal eventually is to put that on the website and have a virtual trophy case that no matter where you're at, you can go in and see all the trophies that we've won. And so far we've taken 318 photos of trophies, and I probably got another 130 to go. So quite a few.
Well, yeah, it sounds to me like that's quite a job, but they will be returning to the trophy case, won't they?
Many of them will. Some of them are, believe it or not, I took trophies out of the trophy case from 1985. In the back storage closet, I found football trophy from 1947 and a baseball trophy from 1937, and they're kind of unique. So I'm thinking about making a nostalgic section in the trophy case and bring some of them old trophies back out. So found the 1956 undefeated football trophy back in a box. So
and all the trophies are in what building out there?
They're all in the Columbia building.
Okay.
We're basically across from the swimming pool and then on down closer to where the students come in from the courtyard.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. You have all the officials assigned to and everything?
I would say we have almost every one of those. There's always changes. Officials seem to have issues, and they change and they come and go, and soccer officials are actually hard to find. They're few and far between. We actually have nobody in Fayette County that has a license to do soccer at the high school level. Jeff Couliar, you're listening, you need to get yours. But yeah, and Shane Russell's kind of been in charge of that for the last year, and he's done a good job of getting all those assigned. And we've had a couple who are getting ready to move away, so we'll have to fill in some voids. We've added some games, so we'll have to go find some officials real quick. But the majority of the fall sports are pretty much done, other than maybe 1 or 2 officials on them.
Mike, how many officials are involved in soccer?
We have a center ref and 2 side judges, and they're responsible for offsides and inbounds, out of bounds calls.
I see them with different colored cards. What's that all about?
Bad.
Yeah, don't want those.
If there's a foul on the field and it's a little, I guess, harsh, it's a yellow card. If it's like a cheap shot, cursing, it can be a red card, which means they're out for that contest and the next contest. Yellow card, they just have to go out. They can come back in. And when I know in soccer, when you get a red card, they also not allowed to be athlete of the year, disqualify them from athlete of the year too. So it's important for the kids to
Sure.
hold their temper, be good sports, and you know, if you get fouled, you let it go and let the referee take care of those issues. But we've had some red cards in the past, and we try to avoid them. I think we'll be good this year. Got good kids, and so we should be all right with that.
I'm sure you will. Olivia, being a senior, how are you going to help the young people coming up? I know you probably had some help when you were an underclassman from the older girls. So how do you intend to coach them and help them, support them and encourage them?
I'm very excited this year, actually. We have about 7 or 8 freshmen coming up, I believe.
Okay.
And most of them are hitters, so I will be able to help them out, give them some advice. I know that we have one girl named Bella Ulmer that's been kind of filling in for varsity because we only have I'm about the only middle hitter we have. So she's got to fill in that spot, and she's been doing really well. We've been trying to help her out. So I'm excited. I'm ready to hold that spot, ready to have give the new kids some direction. So
Looking forward to
yeah.
it. Jack, I'll ask you the same thing. How do you plan on helping the young people coming up, and who helped you a lot when you first got into sports on the varsity level?
I plan on, like, the main thing with soccer is to be encouraging, I'd say, because it's really easy to get frustrated when you're in the game flow and stuff, and you have just everything going on. Then say someone makes a bad touch, you can get really frustrated. But the main thing is to let them know that it's okay, and that it just needs to be corrected next time. Just try their best. But a lot of my help came from our senior class last year. With just I've played sports with them. I mean, pretty much I've been around them my whole life. So, but I didn't really get that close to them until the upcoming years, and they've just been a huge help, and they've had a lot of skill that they've been able to pass down. So,
As Mike pointed out, you lost a lot of good players from last year's squad.
yep.
And Mike, are any of these guys that graduated heading for college and will play soccer? Do you know?
I don't think any of them's going to play.
Okay.
I know Logan had a chance to play, but I think he decided just go to school and get his degree. So no, none of them moved on. This is a tough area to play soccer in college. You got to be on a club, and there's no club teams around here. You have to go to Indianapolis, up above Anderson. So it is tough because college coaches just don't come around here and watch high school soccer games unless you go to the state tournament and things like that. So, and none of our kids has really been in a club in the last few years. I think this summer you guys played up in Newcastle, right, on the team. So we're starting to get our names out. Now we're in a conference, which really does help because they do play like an all-conference team. They'll go play somewhere, and then you get scouts at those type of games. But it's very rare that a college coach will come and watch Connersville play Union County in a soccer game. It's as simple as that. So that's something we really got to work on, is the club and getting our kids on these club teams. But it's expensive. You got to drive hour plus. So. But it's just something that we got to deal with in this area. And not just our school, it's all the schools in this area.
Where'd you get your experience in coaching? Did you play?
There wasn't even a soccer team in high school when I went. Not for sure exactly when it started, but my son, he started playing when he was 4 or 5 years old. Started going to the club at the time, and decided to start coaching then with him, and just kind of grew up with him and just continued coaching. And one thing about soccer in this area is fairly new. I didn't have a whole lot of competition because nobody really knew a lot about it and wanted to do it. So it's been a good experience, and I love it. And it's a great time in the summertime to be with them. It's stressful. We try to have fun, and it's just been fun for the last 6 years.
Did you play soccer in college and wrestling in college?
No, I went to Marion College, played baseball for a year, then I transferred to Ball State and just got my degree and got the heck out. So,
Penny, what about
college
you?
sports is tough. I mean,
I'll ask you about your experience. Where did you pick up your coaching ability?
Yep. I played. I first started playing volleyball when I was in high school.
Okay.
I did not play middle school volleyball at the time. They had it. I didn't play. I was a basketball player. I concentrated on basketball. I did volleyball. Just kind of thought it was something to do when I got to high school level. Ended up getting a basketball scholarship to which was Marion College, which was now Indiana Wesleyan.
Okay.
And so I played for Indiana Wesleyan. I say I kind of went in as a basketball player, but I came out a volleyball player because we had such great volleyball teams at Indiana Wesleyan. So it was a great experience and just kept me involved in coaching. Played on numerous adult leagues. Played on a women's club team that we traveled. We went to Denver for nationals, so quite a bit of experience playing. Then my daughter also plays. Now she's playing for me now, so it's kind of interesting to be a mom and a coach at the same time. So when we're at the gym, I'm coach, and after the game, we just kind of leave it at that, and I become mom.
Good. You've got quite a record here of volleyball and everything, so it's understandable why you're so successful. That's great.
Thank you.
Great. Brent, football practice, I believe, August the 4th, non-contact, the IHSA says, for a couple of days. What's that mean?
Yeah, August 4th, they start, they actually start at 12:01, August 4th, 12:01 a.m. It's kind of been the tradition the last 3 years. But first 2 days, they're not allowed to have all the pads on. So they can have
Okay,
their
that's what
helmet.
that means. Okay.
Yeah, and then on the third day, they can put their full pads on and go through progressions to get you used to having your pads on and going through the tackling drills and all those things. But the first couple days, I think it had just helmets and maybe shoulder pads, but there's no physical where you can tackle people. It's just all
Okay, that's what
getting
that
acclimated
okay.
to the system.
And they'll be practicing morning and evening. Is that the way they work it?
Well, it's hard now because school starts August 6th, where it used to be you'd have 2 days for about a week and a half or 2 weeks. But they will run a couple, because we have a lot of lay coaches that have outside jobs outside the school. So we'll have a practice at 12:01 a.m. on August 4th, and then they'll turn around and come back in about 6 in the morning and get a second one in. So then they'll go, a lot of times at the first, they'll go a little bit before school for conditioning and some things, and they'll come in after school. So
People are wondering why school starts early. Can you explain it?
it's just kind of the trend. I think the
Okay.
idea is that less time off, less things forgotten. So there are some schools that start in July, and
No fooling.
I have a cousin who teaches at a school. They start July 1, and they go 3 months, and then she gets a whole month off, and then they go 3 months, and she gets a whole month off. So it's just a kind of the trend in education right now is the all year round school.
Well, since air conditioning's in the buildings, I guess that makes it possible.
Well, that's a good thing if you can get it. So hopefully we'll get all of our water on, and we'll get all of our air back at the high school before August 4th. So.
That's a big project at high school this.
Yeah, they replaced
summer,
all the
isn't it?
water lines, and they put in all new windows. Of course, the windows are the original windows, and
Yes.
they were starting to leak and fall apart. So that's been the project for this whole summer to get all those upgraded.
Are those building, or the school opened, what, in 71?
68 or 69, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's 45 years old.
It's easy to see why some repairs become necessary
Yes.
and everything. Let's talk about some of the Spartanettes. I know they're a vital part of football, especially, and the band. You want to comment on them?
Sure,
The work they do?
Between the Spartanettes with Sandy Toshlag, and she does a great job, and her assistants Sharon Miller, and Sydney's in the back, and Sydney fills in a little bit every now and then with Mom. Between them and the cheerleaders, Jenny Mitchell and her daughter Ashley, and then of course Steve McKean with the band, it's a good show. I mean, they all put on a good pregame, and the Spartanettes dance at halftime, and the band plays at halftime, and yes, and they did. They just left. Cheerleader just got back from camp yesterday, and the Spartanettes just left for camp today. So, little bug in my ear just reminded me of that. But they do a great job. I mean, if you go to a lot of places, not only in football and basketball, you don't see those dancers. And our girls not only dance at football, they go to volleyball games, and they go out to the soccer match, and they haven't been to the golf course that I know of, but they try to get around to do a little bit of everything, and that's good for our kids, and just to have that experience that basketball traditionally gets and football traditionally gets, but to give those to the volleyball teams and to the soccer clubs or soccer teams, that's kind of special.
You know, I've been to some other schools that they don't have the band or anything like that at football or basketball, which is kind of unusual, but
yeah, and it's starting to be a changing thing. I know we have some schools in our conference, and us included, are trying to think about ways of limiting, for example, the number of games our cheerleaders have to go out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so those things have been tossed around, but we're not the first one in that boat. You know, right now, if you want to talk about cheerleaders, they cheered about 40 basketball games between the varsity and the JV, and you know, half of those are on the road. So there's 20 nights at their middle of the school year that they may be out on the road. So we're looking at ways to maybe limit that just a little bit, not because we don't want them there, but academics a little bit come first, and we just don't want them gone that many nights of the week during the school year. So we're talking about ways how to limit their travel time a little bit, but they'll be at all of our home games and do our festivities that we have at everything. So
might talk about the football home games. They're well attended, aren't they?
yeah, you know, for traditionally we've not been known as a football school, but we always have great crowds, and it kind of goes with weather. Last year we had a great year of Friday nights on our place, and the bad nights were the nights we were on the road. So we're hoping for good Friday nights this year at home, and you know, August 22nd against Richmond's our first one. Of course, second home game of the year is South Dearborn, and that will be homecoming. Third one will be Rushville, which is the War on 44, and if you remember right, over there last year was a good game, but it was in a quagmire. We'll play East Central here at home during Game 4, and I think East Central is the little kids' night, and then of course last night against Batesville senior night. So
Football field's in great shape with all the rain we've been getting. I can remember some years when it was brown by now and you had to water, but not this year.
No, it's been great. Brian Edgecombe is our athletic custodian. He does a super job. Of course, you know, 3 years ago we put in a new sod and put a sprinkler system underneath the turf. So, but Brian's been thankful he hasn't had to run it very often this summer, and that just helps with the fertilization and all the things keeping your weeds out, and you can apply it at the right time and you can get it the water it needs. And I was standing out on it today, and boy, it's thick and plush. So we had quite a few compliments last year from the opposing schools of how great our field looked at, you know, late October when most of it's dead and not very plush.
You know, it's been a real pleasure to have all you guys here tonight. Any closing statement from you, from Penny, on your volleyball?
Just come out and support the Spartans.
Come out and see it, huh? Buy one of those all-sport tickets, and you can get in all the games and watch the girls play. Mike, what about you?
Just a reminder, August 4th is our first practice, but August 4th and 5th is actually tryouts for us. Then our team practice will start that Wednesday. So if you're interested in playing soccer, you need to attend those 2 days. And don't forget your physicals.
Olivia, you anxious for things to begin? Both schools underway and volleyball?
Yeah, actually this year I've been missing school a little bit. I didn't think I would, but I'm ready for it to start.
Your last year coming up, what's your plans after graduation?
I am kind of stuck between IU and Bloomington and Ball State, and I want to go to school to be a geneticist, so I'm really excited about it.
Jack, how about you? You optimistic for the coming year, both academically and in the sports?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean, are anxious for things to get underway?
Oh yeah, I'm very anxious. It's going to be a completely different soccer season this year. We have a completely different style we play this year, so it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be fun.
So what's your plans after you leave CHS next June?
I haven't completely decided on a major yet, but I've thoughts about going to IUPUI. I have a sister that goes there, so that's really my only thoughts so far, but I'm still thinking a lot about it.
Brent, as always, congratulations on you and your staff, the job you guys do at CHS.
Thank you, Fran. Appreciate that.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on Connersville Speaks. We'll have another program for you coming up in October. Good night.